Coming up, how Sarasota County deputies are working to take local online predators off the streets. Plus, Congressman Vern Buchanan shares his thoughts on the current situation between the U.S. and North Korea. And wet weather still impacting parts of the country. We'll tell you why the flooding in Maryland could get even worse. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Stephanie Webb in for Scott Dennis today. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story this morning, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is sharing new details about an undercover operation designed to protect Suncoast kids from online predators. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo is live outside the Sheriff's Office where a press conference just wrapped up. What did you learn out there this morning, Dwayne?
Well, Stephanie, the Sheriff's Office arrested 21 men during this initiative. The suspects arrested ranging in age from 22 to 58, all of them responding to internet-based ads, online apps, or social media sites. Many of them were even out of town, engaging in sexually explicit written and even verbal communication. One of the suspects agreed to have sex with who he believed was a 12-year-old. Sheriff Knight explained in a press conference that he will continue to have these types of efforts to keep predators off the street.
Again, the message here is for individuals who are using social networking, using the media, using whatever it is they want to use to prey on children in Sarasota County. We will continue to run operations like this. We will arrest them, and we'll do everything we can to prosecute them.
And Stephanie, again, 21 men were arrested in this initiative. And we'll have more for you coming up later on at 5 and 6 o'clock news. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dwayne. Well, new details now on an overnight shooting in Newtown. Police are still looking for a suspect. It happened near 20th Street and Orange Avenue around 2 o'clock this morning. Officers worked the scene throughout the morning but weren't able to find any more evidence. Now, if you know anything about a possible suspect or anything more about the case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. And new developments in an overnight police chase that started in Manatee County and ended in the city of Sarasota. Now, here's what we know at this hour. The chase involved 4 teens. It started off on the 6700 block of 14th Street West in Bradenton around 2 o'clock this morning. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies spotted a black Hyundai that matched the description of a stolen vehicle and then chased that car into Sarasota County. Now, the chase ended at 31st Street, where all 4 suspects got out of the car and ran. Now, 2 of the teens were taken into custody and booked into a juvenile facility. One of them was bitten by a police canine and suffered minor injuries. The other 2 are still on the run. New at noon, a Manatee County school bus driver is facing charges after getting into an accident earlier this morning. Florida Highway Patrol says it all happened at US 31 and Ellington Gillette Road around 7:30. An SUV was stopped in front of the bus at a stoplight when the bus driver prematurely stepped on the gas, rear-ending the SUV. Now, there were 8 passengers on the bus at the time of the accident, but no one in either of the vehicles was hurt. The bus driver has been charged with careless driving. And the search is on for an armed mugger, while another suspect is already behind bars today. It happened at a home on 60th Avenue Drive West in Bradenton. Deputies say they found 20-year-old Trenton Brown in the front yard with a gunshot wound to the leg. They later learned that Brown and another man allegedly robbed the victim at gunpoint. Deputies say Brown fired at the victim and he then shot back. A neighbor then tried to help the gunshot victim.
And what I did was I got my belt and wrapped it around his thigh, and he was screaming, but, you know, you had to do the right thing.
Brown is charged with armed robbery and aggravated assault with a firearm. The second suspect remains on the loose. Well, there has been a string of car burglaries around Lakewood Ranch. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies are trying to find out who is responsible. Now, the break-ins happened at 3 separate homes on Water Lily Way. Deputies say the thieves opened the victims' unlocked cars and then took cash. Sheriff's deputies want to remind people to always lock their car doors when they go inside. New at noon, possible progress for a U.S.-North Korean summit. A top North Korean diplomat is coming here to the U.S. to lay the groundwork for talks between the 2 countries. ABC 7's Ray Collins is just back from a one-on-one with Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan and has a reaction on this latest development. Ray?
Yeah, this is big. President Trump broke the news this morning about North Korea's vice chair coming to the U.S. This would be the most senior North Korean official to visit this country in the past 18 years. Area Congressman Buchanan sees this as a positive step toward a summit and improving relations between the two countries. He doesn't want to see nuclear tensions escalate, he says, another day.
Any way we can work together. I also think of Germany, where they had, East and West Germany, and they came back together as a people. I'd like to see that move in that direction because it does cost the American taxpayers a lot of money. The thing with North Korea has been 60 years. That's enough time. Let's see if we can't find a way. Is it going to be complicated? Do I agree with exactly everything the president's doing? No, but I do think that he's moving in the right direction.
Observers say sending Kim Jong-un's right-hand man to this country builds confidence on both sides. The summit was scheduled for June 12th. That's now about 2 weeks away.
And now First Alert meteorologist Steve Newman joins us. We've had some ups, some downs, some rain, some suns, a storm that's now behind us. What in the world is on the way today?
More tropical breezes blowing up from
We
the
like
south.
those words. Okay, we'll take that.
Winter is over. We're nothing but summer from here on out.
We like those words.
Yes, you can see the flow clearly coming from the south on an unsettled day. A lot of clouds, a few showers here and there. You can see offshore those bright clouds are associated with some showers and thunderstorms well out there that will not reach us. There you can see in the heart of the screen what is left of subtropical storm Alberto, right now over the heart of Alabama. We'll talk more about that coming up later on the newscast, but look at this. We still have that southerly flow, but again, the heaviest rain has been to the west of us and to the east of us, and it should continue that way for the rest of today. If you look at the future radar, if this model is correct, again, interior Florida, Highlands, DeSoto, Hardee County, further east and north will get the bulk of the rain. Then tonight, the rain chance increases at midnight or so through the overnight hours with a greater chance of rain. Tomorrow looks like we will still have some scattered showers about, so it's not done yet. In fact, it's probably not going to be till the weekend that we really start seeing a full drying trend. 83, we're about the high for today. Then we start to cool off into the 70s through the evening hours with that 60% chance of showers coming up. We'll take a closer look at Alberto and the full weather picture in a little bit. Back to you.
All right, sounds good, Steve. Thank you. We like those words, drying trend. Right now in Maryland, Ellicott City residents are being allowed to return to what's left of their homes after what's been called a once-in-a-thousand-year storm. ABC's Maggie Rulli explains how remnants from subtropical storm Alberto are continuing to wreak havoc.
Today, we're getting a closer look at the damage left behind from a weekend of severe weather. In Ellicott City, Maryland, what's being called a once-in-a-thousand-year storm left building after building destroyed. These two cars upended, sidewalks torn apart. More than 8 inches of rain fell in just 3 hours. Officials say over 1,100 calls were placed to 911. First responders helped more than 300 people. As many as 30 were stranded in the high water. But one man is still missing. Eddie Herman, a National Guardsman who fell into the floodwaters while trying to help another woman.
He took a couple of steps in and it just swept him away.
Farther south, subtropical storm Alberto made landfall overnight. With torrential rains and winds over 50 miles per hour, states of emergency were declared in 3 states, Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama. And in North Carolina, 2 deaths are now linked to the tropical storm. A local news crew was out covering Alberto when a tree fell onto their SUV, killing them both. Their bodies were discovered by a fire chief they had just interviewed.
We had talked a little bit about how he wanted us to stay safe and how we wanted him to stay safe. And then, of course, 10, 15 minutes later, we get the call, and it was him and his photographer.
The remnants of Alberto are moving north now and expected to hit the Midwest by Wednesday, bringing with it more heavy rain and wind. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
And we are just days away from the start of hurricane season. It is a perfect time to download our free AB7 app. You can find it in the App Store. Make sure you get all the latest breaking news as well as those first alert weather notifications. Still to come on your Suncoast News, how concerned parents can now rent drug-sniffing dogs to check out their kids' rooms. And we're going to have the emotional return home for a U.S. prisoner held captive in Venezuela for 2 years. We're going to have that story for you right after this.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. his family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
John's taking a breather today at noon because we've had a really busy last few days, and he certainly deserves a few hours off, and I'm in here for him. And you can see the pounding surf that we had is gone. It's still a little high by Suncoast standards, but the big pounding waves have subsided, and it will continue to do that for the rest of the week. 82, the current temperature at the airport, the dew point 74. Our humidity is 76%, and the south winds have slackened off right now at 14 miles per hour. Sustained winds over the Suncoast in its entirety. We had sustained about 30 miles an hour on Sunday and early Monday, but right now generally about 10-15 miles per hour. That's the trend. Down in the southern part of our viewing area, 9 at Placida, and Rotunda 10 miles per hour, same at Port Charlotte. Now here is a satellite view, and we do have a tropical flow. The storm may be way to the north of us, but it's carved out a channel in the atmosphere to allow, that's kind of a metaphor, but a channel has been carved out for clouds and moisture to stream straight from the tropics over Florida. So it's going to feel tropical for a while, but because of the clouds, we're a little cooler than normal for this time of year. There are the storms I told you about offshore that look very impressive, but with them going in that direction, they're going to miss us. There's more coming up from the south. It should also miss us. But taking a look to the north, we have a big storm heading up into the Midwest. Right now, a few scattered showers coming offshore, but that big area offshore is going to miss us entirely. Let's take a look at the broader picture. And here is the pump that is pumping up that moisture through that channel. That's what's left of subtropical storm Alberto. You can see the flow very clearly from the south. Alberta right now has just passed downtown Birmingham, Alabama, and it's kind of heading up the I-65 corridor. It's not going to hit Nashville, but the eastern side of the storm will bring them some rain. And it's really lost most of its punch, but it still has the potential of bringing flooding rain and strong gusty winds as it moves northward. The futurecast shows the storm moving on to the north and then also into the Mississippi Valley and the lower Ohio Valley, over Indiana, Detroit, dissipating and delivering all that warmth and moisture from the tropics up in the high latitudes, which is what subtropical storms are supposed to do. Now here's our futurecast for closer at home. We have scattered showers in our prediction coming up from the south. It will continue for off and on for the next couple of days, but most of us will miss us until tonight, and then tomorrow we have a fairly decent chance of showers and thunderstorms. It also looks like we're going to have nicer conditions out over the water as well. Here's the 7-day outlook showing that we have 60% of showers today with a few storms possible. It drops off to 40% on Thursday, 40% on Friday. Now I think Even though we will continue to have that subtropical flow coming up, we will start a drying trend coming in on Saturday and Sunday with a chance of rain down to 20%, more typical of the season, but still cooler than normal. We should be around 88, 89 for high temperatures, and we'll still be a few degrees cooler than that, which is pretty nice for this time of year to not have a heat wave going on as we move into June. By the way, Friday is the official start of the hurricane season. Make sure you tune into ABC 7 at 7 o'clock Friday night for our hurricane special. The whole storm weather team will be here to tell you how to prepare for the upcoming hurricane season. That's your weather.
In Health Smart, parents, would you rent a drug-sniffing dog to check whether or not your kids were hiding drugs in their bedrooms? Reporter Ray Donnell explains how parents in Missouri now have that option.
When we train, I like to let things sit out for a little while to kind of simulate something that's been hidden.
Ray McCarty with Metro Canine Services shows us how his dog Phoenix prepares for her workday.
This is the odor of marijuana, but we also train on meth, cocaine, heroin, and PCP and ecstasy.
With 5 simple words,
you gonna find your gift?
Phoenix searches the room until she discovers the scent. She looks for narcotics that may be hidden in homes, businesses, or schools.
Well, I thought it'd be a good idea to have a dog that's not law enforcement, a non-law enforcement canine that doesn't do apprehension or anything like that, where it's safe to have them amongst the students. So I started it.
Parents can actually rent the canine to see whether or not their kids have drugs hidden in their rooms.
The times that we find things, it's basically just confirming the parents' suspicions. And it's nice when we don't find things. Is that it? Did you get it? You did.
New to the team is Coco, who is training in firearms detection.
We see, the schools doing the active shooter training, which is good, but would be nice to have something in place to maybe prevent that in the first place.
Still going through the training, McCarty says Coco will assist in some school searches starting in the fall.
Well, what if one way to lose weight could be found simply in a stick of gum? Could happen. Researchers in Japan studied nearly 50 men and women who all were gum chewers. Now, they tested 2 groups, one which walked 15 minutes while chewing a couple of pieces of gum. Now, the other group drank the same ingredients mixed in water while walking 15 minutes. Now, just in case there was something in the gum ingredients that might affect those results. Now, men over the age of 40 had the best response to this combo. That included the gum chewing. They burned about 2 additional calories for every minute that they walked. Women, darn it, oddly did not have a significant response. All right, well, it's time to enjoy some good calories for lunch. Let's head over to the kitchen and check in with Chef Pisano, who joins us today from Cafe La Rope at St. Armand Circle. What is on the menu today, Chef? It smells good.
Thank you. Today we're gonna have a black grouper, and we're gonna be serving over bamboo rice with coconut milk. And we're gonna top it with mango salsa and finish with a spicy beurre blanc.
All right,
and it's gonna be awesome.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Everybody can make something. because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
Welcome back. A follow-up now on the emotional homecoming for an American man who spent 2 years imprisoned in Venezuela, all without a trial. Overnight, Josh Holt and his wife finally returned home to Utah, greeted by a giant crowd of friends and family. ABC's Matt Gutman has more on the heartwarming reunion.
Overnight, it was smiles and cheers for Josh Holt, reunited with his family after 2 years in a Venezuelan prison.
I just want to thank every single person that prayed for us, that was here for us.
These are faces he didn't know if he would ever see again. Just weeks ago,
I need help.
Holt desperately begging to be rescued from that Venezuelan prison known as the Dungeon.
They're saying that they want to kill me.
Holt was detained after the Venezuelan police accused him and his new Venezuelan wife of dealing weapons and plotting to undermine the government. Holt says he endured inhumane conditions, leaving family members desperate.
My baby boy, what are they doing to him?
But tears of desperation turned to tears of joy when Holt was suddenly released to the United States over the weekend. That embrace with his mom and a swift meeting with the president at the White House before finally heading home on a plane to Utah.
I'll most likely be crying long before I even get to hug him.
His hometown of Riverton decorated in his favorite color, neon green. But on this Memorial Day, Joshua Holt enveloped in the red, white, and blue.
This flag was on his grandpa's casket. I'm going to wrap my grandson in it and tell him he can't leave the United States.
Back in 2016, I was also detained by the Venezuelan secret police, accused of being a CIA spy. I was held in a different location and only there for a few days, but everybody warned us about how horrible the conditions were at the prison where Josh was being held. Now, it could take him a while to recover, but he's got the support of an absolutely incredible family. Matt Gutman, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, the White House says Holt's release came after more than a year of tense negotiations between the U.S. and Venezuela. All right, let's head back over to the kitchen and check in on Steve, who has now joined Chef Pisano from Cafe La Rope at St. Armand Circle. What's going on over there, guys? It smells really good.
It is. We're going to have all kinds of wonderful exotic flavors, and it is my honor to be working with Andrea Pisano.
Thank you, thank you.
Cafe Europe has been part of my life ever since it opened, 40, 45 years ago.
Yes.
I grew up on Lido Key, so I've had many meals. Full disclosure, I've eaten there a lot. So what do you have for us today?
Today we're going to be making a black grouper. We're going to pincer. We're going to serve over bamboo rice.
Right.
We put some coconut milk on the rice, and we're going to be adding some mango salsa and a spicy beurre blanc.
The spicy beurre blanc has me really intrigued. It's got jalapenos in it?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
not really, it's not that spicy.
I've been intimidated by making beurre blanc. Is it something someone can make at home?
You can absolutely make at home. You need to be patient when
I'm not.
Yeah, but yes, absolutely, you can definitely make it.
All right, show us how you're making this fish.
The fish, again, pincer at the restaurant, we put it back in the oven to finish in the oven, and then once it's ready, in the meantime, you keep cooking it with your rice.
Right.
So again, we're adding our coconut milk, and we, of course, salt and pepper to taste, and then it takes about 10 to 12 minutes to the grouper to be finished in the oven.
How long do you sear it first, though?
About 2-3 minutes each side.
And you just take the whole pan and put it in the oven and let it bake 350, 375?
Absolutely, 350, 375. About 10 minutes. Once it's done again, we just start plating the dish and yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful dish. It's really a summery dish.
So how does the mango or the salsa come into play and the rice? You put the rice over the fish or underneath the rice?
Yes, we put in the rice first. Yes, we put in the rice first. The risotto, we're gonna put the grouper on top, the mango salsa, the spicy Beurre Blanc, and we finish with a little microgreens.
Great. So this is not black grouper, blackened grouper. This is black grouper.
This is black grouper from the Gulf of Mexico.
Good, good, good. So we have about a minute left.
Yes.
Anything else we need to know about the garnishing of this fish?
The garnish on the fish, no, this is a dish that we actually have it today because we're running different special every night. Tonight we're going to have this on our menu, so if somebody want to come and try our dish, yeah, that's one of those for the day.
What hours are you open, by the way?
We open in the morning at 12 o'clock and we close. We open at 12 o'clock for lunch. We start dinner at 4 o'clock and we close around 9:30.
I've had lunch and dinner there. It's always a good time at Cafe Europe. I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let's go, and you can find out about this recipe. You can find all the details on how to make it by going to mysuncoast.com, click on the dining tab, and it'll tell you all about it. I can hardly wait to taste this. Thanks for joining us here at ABC7.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
We'll be right back.
You.
Judy here, I think hospice was a tremendous source of support for her.
Absolutely. With Jennifer and Kimberly and Liza's constant contact with us, coming in, just knowing that there was someone with knowledge there to back us up, to answer our questions, it made a world of difference.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins.
To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Coming up, the diplomatic standstill continues. Will the U.S. and North Korea ever actually meet to talk nuclear peace? Plus, why over 8,000 Starbucks stores across the country are closing their doors early this afternoon. And the teacher who saved students during a school shooting in Indiana is speaking out for the first time. Those stories plus your First Alert weather right now on your Suncoast News.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. I'm Stephanie Webb in for Scott Dennis today. Now on to the status of where that U.S. summit with North Korea stands. The diplomatic dance continues with high-level officials on both sides working to iron out the issues so that meeting can still go forward in 2 weeks. ABC's Tara Palmieri explains where each of the two sides stand right now.
Talks are progressing towards a peace summit in Singapore next month that both the U.S. and North Korea seem to want to go forward.
I think there's a lot of goodwill. I think people want to see if we can get the meeting and get something done.
Overnight, a diplomatic exchange. After U.S. officials crossed into North Korea to keep the talks moving forward, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un sending his right-hand man and former spy chief to the U.S. He's the highest-ranking North Korean official to visit the U.S. in 18 years. President Trump claiming the letter he sent last week canceling the meeting resulted in a positive reaction from the North. Tweeting, "We have put a great team together for our talks with North Korea. Meetings are currently taking place concerning summit and more. Kim Young-chol, the vice chairman of North Korea, heading now to New York. Solid response to my letter. Thank you." Now, ABC News is learning that there are talks of turning the summit into a trilateral meeting, with South Korean leader Moon Jae-in joining in. A senior South Korean source said they are, quote, waiting to see how it turns out. Meanwhile, American officials are in Singapore continuing to plan for the June 12th summit that is still not officially back on the schedule. Tensions calmed down after a secret meeting between the leaders of South and North Korea. Here they're seen hugging. That North Korean spy chief's visit to the U.S. does not come without some controversy. He reportedly oversaw the Sony hack after their film The Interview mocked Kim Jong-un. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, the White House.
The White House says the U.S. is hitting China with a 25% tariffs on $50 billion worth of their goods. The final list of Chinese products impacted will be announced by June 15th, and those tariffs will go into effect shortly afterwards. Now, that announcement comes about a week after the Treasury Secretary of the Trump administration told them they would stand down on imposing certain tariffs while the two sides continued negotiations to avoid an all-out trade war. And new at noon, 2 policemen and a passerby killed by an armed man in eastern Belgium this morning. The prosecutor says the suspect stabbed 2 policemen from behind before stealing their weapons and using them on the officers. He then continued walking through the street, opened fire on a parked vehicle, killing the driver inside. He then took refuge in a local high school and took a woman hostage. Now, when police intervened, the man opened fire, injuring several other officers before he was finally shot. No word yet on what charges that suspect will now be facing. And it is one of the biggest mysteries in aviation history. The search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 officially ended today. That plane carrying 239 people disappeared back in 2014 while flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Now, focus over the years turned to the pilot and whether or not he may have taken down that plane himself. Earlier this year, a U.S. company picked up the search and used deep-sea sonar. But now, Malaysian authorities say that search has officially come to an end. Also happening today, a big number of Starbucks, just over 8,000 stores, are closing their doors this afternoon for a company-wide diversity training. The coffee giant is training over 175,000 employees to better identify and prevent racial prejudices and bias. Now, this all comes after 2 black men were arrested in a Philadelphia store for using the bathroom. The 2 had not placed an order, which is why the manager was said to have called police in the first place. Now, Starbucks also says the techniques their employees will learn today will be used to train new hires in the future. Also happening today, for the first time since that deadly school shooting, students in Santa Fe, Texas are back in the classroom. Back on May 18th, a student opened fire in the school, killing 10 and injuring 13 others. 10 wooden crosses are now on display in front of the school in remembrance of those victims. School officials say there will be additional security and counseling services on campus throughout the day for the students and staff. The last day of school there is scheduled for Thursday. And now to that heroic teacher who took 3 bullets in order to save his 7th grade students at a middle school in Indiana. Jason Seaman was wounded in Friday's shooting, and as ABC's Adrian Bankert explains, he is now out of the hospital and telling his story for the first time.
Everybody doing all right?
Tears and smiles of gratitude on everyone's faces.
If it weren't for him, that could have been so much worse. He literally risked his life for us.
As students reunite with the man they say saved their lives, 29-year-old science teacher and football coach Jason Seaman.
My actions on that day, in my mind, were the only acceptable actions I could have done given the circumstances. I deeply care for my students and their well-being.
All units, active shooter, Noblesville West Middle School.
When the gunman entered a 7th grade classroom at Noblesville Middle School in Indiana and started shooting, Seaman threw a basketball at him as a diversion, then ran toward the bullets, knocking the gun from his hands and tackling the shooter to the ground. Seaman shot 3 times in the process.
He would always talk about, if this ever happened, the person would have to get through him first.
Ethan Stonebreaker was inside that classroom. He spoke with our Alex Perez.
He did something that most people wouldn't dare to do, but it's very good that he did.
Oh my God, we miss you so much.
6, please.
The school held a fundraiser at this baseball game for Seaman's medical costs, along with 13-year-old Ella Whistler, also shot that day and critically injured. She remains in the hospital, though the school says she is improving.
Her courage and strength at such a young age is nothing short of remarkable.
That was Adrian Bankert reporting. More than $10,000 was raised selling those T-shirts at the game to provide for Seaman and Whistler's medical costs. Well, caught on camera on Monday, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani attended a Yankees game to celebrate his 74th birthday. But President Trump's newest lawyer and self-described huge Yankees fan didn't exactly get a warm welcome from the crowd. As you can hear right here, fans booed Giuliani when his name was called. Now, on Sunday, Giuliani defended Trump's political attacks on the Mueller team, called former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper and former CIA Director John Brennan, quote, 2 clowns. And a timely and powerful image. This one is making the rounds on social media. The Atlanta Braves dedicated a seat in their stadium last year to servicemen and women who were prisoners of war or missing in action since World War I. On Monday, Memorial Day, a local high school junior ROTC member stood at attention next to this chair, but it was raining. So a fan got up to hold an umbrella over him. Now, this image quickly spread online after the Braves posted on Twitter with a simple caption, "Respect." And look at this time-lapse video of subtropical storm Alberto making landfall in the Florida Panhandle. Mississippi and Alabama are still feeling the worst of that storm, with their governors declaring states of emergency yesterday. Now, Alberto made landfall as a tropical storm with winds up to 65 miles an hour. And you're about to see video of 2 of the luckiest people ever. Now, before Alberto slammed into the southeast, it drenched Cuba. The rushing waters were too much for this bridge to handle, collapsing right in front of 2 people who were just getting ready to walk across it. Now, the pair were seconds away from falling into this rushing water and into the rapids below, but were lucky able to turn around right in the nick of time. All right, one of those lucky moments. All right, First Alert meteorologist Steve Newman, you used the words drying trend.
Not till Friday, but I want to tell you.
We'll take it then, that works.
I want to tell you, those people in Cuba ran defense for us.
Yeah.
That's where the lion's share of the rain went, 8, 9, 10 inches down there. Instead of hitting us, unfortunately, it hit them and parts of the Bahamas, but that's pretty much gone for us. You're right. We do have a drying trend in our forecast. but look at this. We have a strong southerly flow still behind what is left of subtropical storm Alberto, bringing in some scattered showers, but nothing too heavy. You can see Alberta acting as the pump up there over Alabama right now, heading to the north, still pulling in those southerly flows, but it looks like the heaviest rain is going to miss us. I'll tell you exactly where the heaviest rain will be tonight and tomorrow. If we take a look at the futurecast, this kind of gives you a hint. It's going to give it away. The interior part of Florida, but then overnight about midnight or so, look at that. Here's another surge coming right over us. Not terribly heavy, but it looks like it's going to be damp not only overnight, but probably probably for tomorrow morning's commute as well. For the next several hours, here's your weather planner. Look for a 60% chance of scattered showers with about the high for the day right now, 83, cooling off to about 79 by 5 o'clock and through the 70s through the evening. I don't think it's going to be an entire washout, but it's going to be damp. It's going to be tropical. Get used to it. This is our weather pattern, the warmth in the tropics for several months.
All right.
Back to you.
All right, thank you, Steve. Well, a new warning on the Big Island of Hawaii today, where winds are firing up. They're blowing those volcanic gases from the Kilauea summit. The Civil Defense Agency there expects the winds to pick up around the cracks on the east side of that volcano, pushing it all towards the island. Now, an explosion sent an ash cloud about 13,000 feet into the air yesterday morning. Sulfur dioxide and ash are both continuing to impact that air quality. And officials there are encouraging residents that live there to limit the time that they spend outdoors. Experts say it could still be weeks before all that lava stops. Now, that lava has already covered more than 2,300 acres on Hawaii's Big Island. And happening today here on the Sun Coast, the city of Sarasota is starting to work on a resurfacing project on a busy stretch of Osprey Avenue. Crews are going to be working between Siesta Drive and Bay Vista Street in phases, starting from South Drive to Boyce Street. Now, Osprey is expected to remain open during this project, but drivers should anticipate a few extra minutes and a little extra traffic in that area. The entire project is expected to be finished by the spring of 2019. Well, as we keep saying, we are just days away now from hurricane season, and another vulnerable spot here on the Sun Coast is being revealed. Residents in Old Myakka say the dike near the 4500 block of Hidden River Road has been eroding ever since Hurricane Irma back in September. Now, it's there to keep homes in the area from ending up underwater. But people who live there say about 5,000 feet out of the 8,000 feet of this dike has already eroded and is in danger of failing. Now, this is the same area where 33 homes were damaged from flooding back in 2003 during a major rain event.
It's been awful since September, but now you can imagine with it getting closer and closer to being a reality, we can hardly function.
It's really scary. I mean, you have life and safety issues from people that their homes are on ground level, that if it happens in the middle of the night, it's going to be a matter of minutes before this place is underwater, and it could kill somebody.
The Hidden River Homeowners Association are the ones that are in charge of maintaining that dike, and they cannot be reached so far for a comment. And the city of Venice is working on plans to rebuild their historic fishing pier. It was damaged last year during Hurricane Irma. The city made minor repairs, but now wants to remove the decking and the railings and to rebuild it to make it safer. But the project could be delayed because city staff have been focused on another project downtown. Now, that's concerning to local businesses like Sharky's Restaurant and the Bait Shop at the pier. They would like to have that work done before the next tourist season, since the pier draws so many visitors.
Take a little bit longer than expected. I'm sure we'll find a way to roll with it. Really, the city's idea of getting it done as quick as possible is really what's going to be best, not only for the city but for us.
Now, the project will go out to bid next week, and it'll be up to the city council there to decide if that project should begin this year or next year. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, why experts are warning more wild animals are being found by people's homes all across the country. And also alligators are climbing fences, including right here in the Sunshine State.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs Right at Home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call Right at Home. Get the right care right at home.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why is
heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
Yeah, for John Scalzi today, and he is enjoying this afternoon, and a lot of people are, despite the clouds. A lot of people on the dock here in the Anna Maria Cam, even one bird, if you look very quickly, there he goes. A blue heron skirting past in that time-lapse picture at 12:45, still a lot of clouds, but it's quite mild. 82 because of the clouds and the strong southerly winds over waters that are about 80 to 82 degrees. 74 the dew point, 76 is the humidity with those south winds at 14. And we do have a subtropical flow coming right out of the deep tropics right over Florida. It's being pulled in by subtropical storm Alberto, which is now moving to the north. And that flow is mainly missing us with the most moisture. It's mainly to the east of us, as we saw from Cuba and the eastern part of Florida, out in the Gulf and up in the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico. And there is the culprit, that pump of energy. That's Alberto, now moving through the heart of Alabama, approaching Tennessee. It will continue moving northward, dissipating further. Locally heavy rain, but its biggest punch is over. But there still could be some flooding as a result of these spiraling bands as it moves up through Illinois, Indiana, and into Michigan, the Great Lakes, and Canada in the next couple of days. Here is our futurecast for the next 48 hours, showing a lot of moisture. Looks very menacing to the south of us, but the computer models predict again it's not going to reach us. Most of it to the east and to the west of us, at least for today. Overnight tonight, we could see an increasing chance of showers, and tomorrow looks like it could be a fairly wet day as well. If you're going out on the water, the small craft advisories have been dropped, seas 3 to 4 feet, moderate chop on bay waters. And here's our forecast for today along the Suncoast. There is a 60% chance of showers and a high temperature of 82, but look at that, we're several degrees cooler than normal as a result of the clouds and the wind, the south wind at 10 miles per hour. And here's my 7-day showing that we have the 60% today and tomorrow, with a few storms again tomorrow with a high temperature of 82. Thursday, the chance goes down to about 40%. And then the drying trend, which we all like to see, even though we didn't get deluged over the weekend from Alberto, we've had a long period of regular rain. So it'd be nice to get a few days where it doesn't. And it looks like that's going to be the case starting Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, with about a 20 to 30% chance of rain. The hurricane season officially starts on Friday, June 1st. ABC 7 will have a hurricane special right here in this studio live beginning at 7 o'clock. The whole weather team will be here along with a bunch of experts that will help you get prepared for the upcoming hurricane season. Tune in this Friday at 7. That's it.
Well, in consumer news, be careful the next time you go out to check your backyard. A couple in South Carolina got a pretty big scare when they spotted an alligator trying to climb their backyard fence. ABC's Victor Coendo explains why some of these close calls like this are on the rise.
That is a 7-foot alligator scaling a fence in a backyard. Not exactly what neighbors in one South Carolina neighborhood expected to wake up to.
Anything that's big enough to eat me gets my attention.
And it's actually the 5th alligator removed from the neighborhood so far this spring.
I hate to think I'm having supper with an alligator tonight, but he might be on my dock when I get back home, so who knows.
Across the Carolinas, chomping their way into yards.
Oh my gosh.
Officers wrangling this massive gator off a porch earlier this month. These alarming sights are becoming more common. In Texas, trappers dragging this one from a family's driveway. Even a mountain lion spotted roaming backyards outside of LA. And researchers believe it's a sight we should all get used to.
They're moving into areas that they formerly inhabited before they were pushed out of there by human activity.
That, of course, was Victor Akendo reporting. And a new study that I don't think you're going to like either from Duke University found that larger predators like alligators, like mountain lions, like panthers, they are moving into more unexpected areas across the country, not necessarily exploring new territory, but recognizing their former hunting grounds that have now been taken over by us humans. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, how one service dog gave people at Tampa International Airport a delivery they will never forget. Stick around, we've got that story.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running, and right now, you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month, or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
In entertainment news, Solo, a Star Wars story, came up a little shorter than expected at the holiday weekend box office, and good reviews are already coming in for the remake of A Star is Born. ABC's Jason Nathanson explains in today's Showbiz Wrap.
A below expectations debut for young Han Solo, an estimated $103 million holiday weekend take for Solo, a Star Wars story, well below the $130 to $150 million predicted last week. It's by far the lowest debut of the recent Star Wars films.
You look good.
The reasons? Possibly lukewarm reviews, rumors of a troubled production, and a crowded marketplace. But audiences like it, giving it an A- in exit polling by CinemaScore. No K-pop band has ever had a #1 album on the Billboard 200 album chart until now. Wildly popular Korean boy band BTS just debuted at #1 with the album Love Yourself, Tear. It sold 100,000 copies and was streamed just over 39 million times, according to Billboard. It's also the first primarily non-English album to top the chart in 12 years since the classical quartet Il Divo in 2006. Early rave reviews for the remake of A Star is Born from Sean Penn. After an early screening, he gushed about star Lady Gaga and her co-star / director Bradley Cooper.
One of the best movies I've seen in I don't know how many years, but I got so excited when I saw it because the acting is brilliant. Both, they are astonishing in it.
You'll have to wait until October to see for yourself. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And plus, Harry Potter fans, Neville Longbottom is all grown up and off the market. Actor Matthew Lewis, who played Neville in the Harry Potter series, is all grown up and married. Lewis tweeted out a wedding photo of himself and new bride Angela Jones with a less than romantic caption that explained how he missed seeing his favorite English rock band, the Arctic Monkeys, because his wife made him get married instead. Trade-off. And going out to lunch with Warren Buffett could cost you millions, literally. Bidding is now open for the 19th annual Power Lunch with Warren Buffett. 2 years ago, the winning bid was just shy of $3.5 million. Money raised from that charity goes to help a San Francisco charity that helps end homelessness across the country. So far, they've raised more than $26 million. And finally, the Tampa International Airport had a special delivery, or 8, from a service dog named Eleanor Rigby. The 2-year-old lab went into labor while her owner was waiting to board a flight. Good news, the delivery went well. Ellie is now a mom with 8 wonderful puppies, 7 boys, 1 girl. Needless to say, that new family missed their flight back to Philadelphia.
And those puppies are not going to have any trouble getting adopted
No,
with that publicity.
yeah,
no.
I will take all of them right now.
Absolutely.
All right, Steve, thanks for spending some time with us this morning. You guys can find more of his Forest Alert forecast online. Thanks for joining us today. Hope to see you right back here at 5 o'clock for our next full hour of the news. Have a good day.